raise one point that Chuck just touched on there, which is that we have seen something sort of different happen on the right, and it's one of these things that there isn't a mirror image on the left. And maybe there was historically, but it's not happening at the same time right now, and that is the right questioning what used to be basic agreed upon data. You get like the bipartisan tax policy center, which really is totally, ultimately bipartisan, assessing Mitt Romney's tax plan, and the response from the Romney campaign is to attack the tax policy center as if they're a bunch of communists. You get the Congressional Research Service, which is frankly the gold standard in terms of utterly nonpartisan research for congressional for members of Congress, reporting on the essentially economic theory of giving tax cuts to rich people and whether that leads to economic growth. That report comes out, and the Senate Republicans say they want that report rescinded. They don't like that report because they don't like what it says. The unemployment rate drops below 8%, and people on the right decide that the unemployment rate isn't below 8%. Obviously, the Bureau of Labor Statistics must be full of a bunch of communists and conspiracists who are skewing this number, and it's not the real number in America. You saw it with the polling, when the polling started very clearly showing President Obama not just winning nationally, but President Obama winning in all of the swing states that were going to put together the kind of victory that you saw tonight. They decided that they were going to reinvent their own electorate with their own polls. They were going to unskew the polls because those polls weren't real. They didn't like the answer, and so they questioned the very idea that you could have a fact on any of those issues. And that's hilarious, frankly, when you're reporting on this in a day-to-day way in the news cycle. But when it comes down to I do not believe the election, I do not believe that there is a democracy. I do not believe that states vote for presidents in a way that is observable and true and checkable, and we all follow that, even when we don't like the answer. That is something bigger than a problem with an individual news cycle, and that is a problem on the right that I think goes beyond any sort of questioning of Ohio 2004 with the Democrats or Florida 2000 with the Democrats and the way those races went. Yeah, it's worth looking at close races, and I do not begrudge the Romney campaign for saying that they've got issues with what's gone on in Ohio, but to decide that a result isn't a result as long as you don't like the outcome is something that means that we cannot work together as a country anymore. And we can't go down this road very much further.
They also believe